meet Alpha Farouk Umar.
Hi, my name is Alpha Farouk Umar.
Farouk is a practicing filmmaker, visual artist, and a writer with a background in architecture. He discovered his talents at a very tender age with the help of his teacher. His artistic style and expressions are built on creating hybrid pieces across the aforementioned mediums, and he has done over 1,000 plus artworks. He believes that every talent, creativity, and ability is a gift meant for personal and positive development of mankind and his environment. In this episode, we will be looking more at the visual art side of his creativity icon.
I've seen some of your works and I'm like, okay, fine, let me get this thing straight, because I realize that you're doing three things amongst others, because I believe there are so many other things that you're doing that we know about. I'm bringing this story together, which is you being a visual artist, an architect, and also a filmmaker. So I want to know, how did you come up merging these three together?
Well, you can say I was born an artist, a visual artist. Architecture is what I studied in school. That's the discipline I went for, and filmmaking I later explored after graduating in school. Yeah.
So when you say you were born an artist, what exactly do you mean?
So I discovered my talent for art from a very tender age. Let's say when I was in primary school.
Okay.
So from the moment where the kids are told to draw, probably in fine art class, I excelled more than most of the kids around me, and that set me apart. And it was at that moment that I was discovered that, oh, there's a certain artistic talent in this boy, and I was encouraged on to develop it further by my teacher.
So it was a gift.
Yes,
and
it's a natural gift.
And you took it up to university and studied it, and now you're practicing it.
Oh,
so
yes.
can we actually say that probably it's something that, is there anybody in your family that we can actually say that, okay, fine, I have this, or probably you just discover that is a gift at a very tender age?
Well, my dad is an artist. He's a visual artist, a painter. That's what he studied.
Okay.
But for me, well, some people think such abilities are hereditary. Probably you pick it up from parents, but I like to think of mine that I brought it from.
Well, that's nice, because I was surprised you didn't talk about that earlier, but it's good you're talking about it. So tell us more.
So the homogeneity in what my dad does, being an artist, and the talent I found in myself. You can say it inspired me. Just imagine a child watching his father paint. I was very intrigued, and I haven't found my own ability in that aspect. Or you could say I was having fun. I didn't even know in what direction it was going to lead in the future. But at that moment, I was just emulating what my father was doing and doing it in my own way. And in time, I found my own personal identity.
Okay. People can actually relate with you being an architect and also a visual artist. But coming to, being a filmmaker, a producer, that's where the whole, misconception comes. I feel probably you should tell us more of the film production aspects.
Okay.
How you switched them. Was it a switch or one after the other way? Bringing them up?
It's more of an exploration.
Oh, okay.
I like to think of myself as a multi-talented individual, where a lot of people will think, well, even if you're multi-talented, you just pick one talent and run with it, because honing your skills in just one direction is hard enough as it is. It's difficult to make the most of whatever talent you have, let alone talking about multiple talents on the side. But I personally am of the idea that these gifts were given to me not just to pick one and discard of the rest, So I had to find a way. It was my personal challenge to look for a way to make all of these individual talents work, probably to work together to be able to achieve something more than each of them could have achieved individually. And that's one of the opportunities filmmaking in particular presented to me. The reason why I chose to explore that aspect, because filmmaking itself, we can say it's the most complete form of art that I've been able to discover so far. In filmmaking, you use the skill of an architect for your set designs, for your visualization. You use the skills of your visual art for your storyboarding, for your storytelling, even your pure imagination. Basically, I personally believe that I'm of the conviction that every talent, every creativity, every ability is a gift that's meant for the personal development, positive development of mankind and this environment. Yes? And as such, art itself, and by art I mean in the broader sense, art should be a vehicle with which to achieve such a higher purpose. For me, what I intend to do is to make an impact. Yeah? It's my intention to affect the world around me. And by this I mean the immediate world around me, my immediate environment, and the world in a larger sense. Yeah? To use what I can do to make a positive difference.
Okay, see, that now brings me to the drive, because right now you're talking about you making impact with these three that you've mentioned. So right now I want to actually understand the drive, the kind of impact you're talking about, because fine, the positive impact that you have mentioned, but I would like to know the main thing that you intend to do with this drive.
So, if you should look around us in the world where we live, I think it's the number of societal issues we have, they are unlimited. Yeah? And in addressing these issues, in solving these issues, you need certain skills. And filmmaking, visual arts, architecture, all of these skills that are in my possession, they happen to be skills with which I'm able to tell certain stories.
Okay.
Yeah? I mean, there's a project I worked on recently titled If Only, and that project is a project that actually brings together film, architecture, visual art to tell the story of child education in Africa with focus on northern Nigeria. This project actually focuses on synthesizing and informing on the present situation, where we are, where we could be. It actually shows the contrast of the life of a typical street child, yeah, of the realities that are possible for that child in the presence of education and in the absence of education. So with filmmaking, with art, it goes beyond just talking about the issue. You get the opportunity to paint the picture, not just a still picture, but a moving picture, a motion picture, to actually better convey your message, the message of hope, the message of possibilities to people. Now, for me, that's just one of the topics that I wish to work on, right? After this topic, and if I'm able to achieve my goal with that, I still intend to pick up other societal challenges and try as much as possible to play my role, to play my part in making an impact to make the situation better.
Interesting. I'm actually liking what I'm hearing, because on this part, I would want to actually know the style or category of your artwork, like the style and the category of your artwork, the artwork you actually create.
So, my works, they come across various mediums: pencil work, paintings, oil on canvases, acrylics on canvas, mixed medium. But one of the major genre still has to do with this same topic of societal issues, right? Both on the smaller scale and on the larger scale. Most of my works, if they're not commissioned works, we have different kind of works. We have commissioned works where probably a client wants a portrait for himself, for herself, for his family. Those are works that has to do with the wishes of the client, yes? But then we have original works that comes with the true expression of my artistic values, what I want to say to the world, and how I express myself through my art, yes? So when you look at such works of mine, such original works, they deep down in it, within such works, the content still carries messages that has to do with the nature of our present society. Yes, where we are, where we've been, where we want to be, the realities. You can say they are philosophical in nature. So yes.
Interesting. You brought my mind to something that I actually saw when it comes to the work of art. They said there are three entities when it comes to the work of art, that it's actually the artist's intention and also the viewer's perception,
interpretation,
yes.
Yes.
And also the other entity, which is the work of an act, which doesn't even care about the the artist and also the viewer as well. So what can you actually say about that? Because I believe that this is actually the right way to interpret. So how come people do not like, coming from the viewer's perception and interpretation, how come they're not able to interpret what the artist has come up with?
So depending on the intention of the artist while making a particular piece,
Exactly.
a piece could be a challenge to the viewer. A piece could be open-ended for the viewer to actually find themselves in it. So the thing is about perception, the thing about perception is everybody's perception is different of a particular subject. You could have the same thing right in front of you, or whatever, you could have 1,000 people viewing that same object, but what you're getting from it is different. Yeah,
Exactly.
this actually introduces the concept of self-reflection. You find yourself in the outer world. Yeah, you find what's within, which means you can only receive as much as you have within. So what you see, what you receive, is probably a reflection of your inward state. You know, so most works, irrespective of what the artist intended by it, sometimes even the viewer finds more beyond what the artist intended. Sometimes when we have abstract works that are actually open-ended, you find that a viewer might actually stand in front of a work for hours and hours, and they just keep receiving and keep receiving. Probably they're receiving what the artist didn't even intend to send to them, but they find for themselves something within it, depending on their own inward journey.
Okay,
Yes.
talking about inward journey, I know you've done thousands of artwork, which I believe you're going to be telling us about, and I don't know, someone being part of your artwork as well.
I think you're a perfect work of art in your own right yourself.
Thank you. So talking about that, I actually want to ask you this direct question. Are there some artwork you've actually done personally for yourself that you saw yourself so soaked into that?
So most of my personal works that originate from my artistic values, usually have that effect
Okay.
because they come from a deep place.
Okay.
You know, every artist needs to reach deep within, at least as far as I'm concerned, for my nature of artworks. If it's not something shallow, if it's something that's intricately buried within my being, then drawing it out to give it form, it's usually, you find yourself immersed, not just at the process of execution, because that's just one aspect of the artwork. The conception, the formation of the idea of what the story you want to tell through the art, that takes an inward journey
Okay.
in its own right. And by the time you find yourself immersed in that, bringing it to life on paper, sometimes you find that you're actually very connected to your work. And it's one of the things artists usually need to learn, not just visual artists, but all creative artists, to actually learn to not be identified with your work, to learn to let go, to know when
to
they stand,
detach
to
themselves.
detach, exactly, that's the word, to know where they stand as an artist and where the work stands as a finished product.
Okay, so how long does it take you to finish, come up artwork together, to put them together?
So it actually depends on the nature of work, on the
Okay.
medium you're working on, and the size also. But generally, artworks, time taken to complete an artwork is calculated in hours. So the thing is, you could actually spend, let's say for example, for me, most of my works averagely would take 100 to 150 to 200 hours on average. The thing is, you could actually complete a 200 hours piece within a span of 10 years. You could complete it within a span of 1 month. You could complete it within a span of 6 months, depending on how much time you spend on it each day. Yes?
Okay.
So, in entirety, what is calculated is the total hours spent on it, not on the entire duration.
That's actually nice. Let's go on a short break. We'll be right back.
advert placement, you can call the number on your screen. And you can visit our website at www.7fm.tv. 7TV Nigeria.
7TV. 7TV. It's all about you.
I love the fact that we are having this conversation because, you're a guru in what you do.
Flattered again.
Oh no, it's not flattering. I'm not flattering you. I remember promising my listeners that you are going to be telling us the number of artworks you've done. So can you tell us now?
So I can't put an exact number on it, but
Okay.
definitely over 1,000 tunes.
So it's up to 8,000.
Yes, definitely within my lifetime.
Well,
definitely.
you've put a number on it though, and that's interesting. I also learned that you actually got a sponsorship from Access Bank to make
a
this
short film.
a short film.
Yes.
I was even thinking that it's
A feature?
yeah.
No, so it was a short film.
So tell us about the film. If only, that's the name,
Yes,
right?
if only.
If only.
So one of the reasons why it's a short film is because for the nature of stories that we wanted to tell, a short film delivers the message more quickly and better. If you look at the story I chose for to use the opportunity to shoot, it had to do with child education in Africa with focus on northern Nigeria. Yes. And within the span of that short film, I was able to paint a picture of what's important, what's
and
not.
that's what you've always wanted to do.
Exactly, of what's important, what's not, of the realities that's possible for the street children, of the need to actually do better. And I was able to do this not just with the film, but with also art, because after that it became a full-blown project.
Whoa.
Yes. So there was the film part, which I was able to shoot through the competition thanks to Access Bank and Accelerate Filmmakers project. And then there's the art exhibition part, where I'm actually making artworks, paintings that actually still tells the same story, but using a different form now, the visual art. Yes. And that's where the architecture also comes in, because there were certain proposals to actually build sustainable schools in locations where they are presently lacking, and to renovate already existing schools that are dilapidated. So personally, I find my calling in the ability to pick up each of the skills that are in my possession to achieve a particular purpose. So for this particular project of If Only, the film has played a part, the visual art has played a part, the architecture is playing its part, which is the juncture where every single of my abilities meet up.
For advert placement, you can call the number on your screen. And you can visit our website at www.7fm.tv. 7TV Nigeria.
7TV. 7TV. It's all about you.
Because of time, I want you to really advise the young ones coming up in terms of creativity career path. So what can you tell them?
For me, I would say to the younger generation, the younger people who are coming up as a creative, to not just be about the money, of making the money for themselves. It's important to do that, yes, everybody has to live, but to also believe in a higher goal, in a higher calling of using what they can do to better the environment, both the immediate environment and the larger environment. That's my advice.
Wow. It's been an awesome time with you here. I wish you the very best out of the route in your journey to success.
Thank you.
And this is 7 Initiative. Thank you for watching. I am your uncle, Patience. Okay. Bye for now.